G'day all, it's Colin from PC TLC and thanks for joining me. Today I've downloaded Ubuntu Budgie 18.04. Now, as much as I like Ubuntu with the super key search for apps, I think Ubuntu Budgie is an awesome distro, so it's got great potential, this one. So I'm not installing it yet. What I'm going to do is today I'm going to use Gparted to rearrange my hard drive on this computer. Now this is my test computer. I've got currently on this computer, if we have a look, you can see one of the distros there that's lined up is MX17 on SDA2. And if I have a quick look at a picture I took today, so I know, because I'm going to probably include it in this video. So I have Ubuntu on SDA2. Sorry, it's MX17 on SDA2. I've got SDA5, which has Ferran OS. SDA6, I have Ubuntu, I think it's just plain Ubuntu, because it doesn't tell you. It's plain Ubuntu. And on SDA, on one of the main ones, I have, I think it's SDA 7, is Ubuntu Budgie. So I have, what I have is I have this down here, which is 185 gig, and that's used as my data drive. Now I'm not really using it as data drive anyway, so there's no point in me really having that there when I can be using a lot more space for more partitions. So I'm gonna, these are all perfectly good operating systems on here, by the way, but I'm going to wipe these clean and we're going to start again. So first of all, I'm going to delete that. MX17 gone. So that's an extended, so we go to the bottom of the extended. I've got a swap drive there as well. We'll delete that. Swap, I have to swap off. Well, actually, I could probably leave the swap there, but I think I might just do it again and show you how to how we can include swaps. So I'm going to delete all these partitions, and then there's the extended. So we are back to a completely clean partition with nothing at all. So I've just wiped off 4 perfectly good running operating systems, but they were the nightly builds, so except for Ferran. Ferran wasn't a nightly build, but I will be installing Ferran again. Ferran OS is a good operating system. So I want to include a lot more partitions so I can run some operating systems long term. What I would like to do is put Arch Linux on as well and try an Arch Linux out. Now I am downloading Arco Linux, which is the Arch merged. But that thing is just taking forever to download, so it'll download eventually. But I don't know what the issue is there. Must be the website is slow. I don't know. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create one new partition. So if I get a calculator out, and we'll be a little bit pedantic here, or what we call fussy. So my first disk is going to be, I think I'll make it 60. Well, actually, no, let's just make it 55 times 1024, because that's how many blocks there are in a. So to bring it up to exactly 55 gigs, you need to include that 24 as well. So if I make it 56,320, that'll be exactly 55 gigs. So we'll go 56,320. Oh, what happened there? Let's try that again. 56,320. Let's click in there. So we add, because if you don't click in there, the remaining space doesn't add itself in there. So it's ext4. It's a primary partition, and we'll add. So I've got one primary partition. The next I will do, we'll go new. I will go 8,000. Okay, so 8,000 times 1,024 equals, oh sorry, what am I doing? 8 times 1,024, gee, is 8192. So we go 8192, click in there. This one is going to be a primary partition, but it's going to be a Linux swap, and we'll add that. Now this one here is going to be new, and it's going to be an extended partition, because you cannot have any more than 4 primaries on one disk. But you can have heaps of partitions on an extended partition. So we'll just give it that size, and we'll go add. And now we can add as many partitions as we like. So we'll add another 55, which is 56,320. Click in there, add to ext4. And then we'll add a 50. $51,200. So now you can see it's a logical partition, it's not a primary, it's a logical. Then we'll go 45. It's 46,080. Then we'll go 40. It's 4960. Then we'll go 35. $35,840. So unallocated, extended. So let's start again, new. Let's make them. So we'll make them a couple of them 40, which is 4960. $35. $35,840. $30, which is $37.20. I don't want to make them all the same, otherwise you can't identify them, but I may have to do that. Because you can identify by the actual device name. So we'll start doing 3720s from here on. Just identify them by the partition number, I suppose, is best. And then we've got a 40 gig left. So how many's that got? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, That's 8. So that gives me eight operating systems I can install on this system. So that looks good. And let's tick the box and that's apply. So on this first partition, I want to try an arch-based system. So it's best for an arch-based system to be at the front of the disk, because I have mentioned in my previous videos that trying to install arch-based system whereas the disk has been controlled by an Ubuntu flavored disk, it just doesn't work. So you're best to have the arch-based system to control the grub. And because if we have a look here, just give me a minute. If we have a look, if we open a text document to edit, so in Ubuntu, you'll go sudo os-prober and enter, and then you'll go sudo apt update-grub. So that's what I do every time I install a new operating system and Ubuntu is controlling the grub. However, when it's a arch-based system that's doing it, you got to go sudo grub -mkconfig -o space /boot /grub /grub.cfg. So when you run that command in an Arch Linux base, then it finds your freshly installed operating system. As long as you don't install that operating system to the first part of the disk, which is SDA. SDA is the whole disk. So that's the front of the whole disk. So if you install an operating system to ext4 and you install grub to ext4, then you can't boot it. You have to get the main one at the start of the disk that's controlling it to run these commands, whichever flavor you're using, to find what you just installed. So that's how I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 partitions. So I'm pretty happy with that. Thought I could have got 10, but 8 will do. So then I can run some a little bit more long term and then just mess around with some others. So that's how you do a multi-disk and multi-boot install or setup, disk setup. So I hope you found this interesting and informative. And I shall probably run you through the first couple of installs and probably more thereon after as well, and just have a quick look at how we do that, and maybe I'll even record a couple of updates to the grub so you can see what's going on there as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for joining me.